Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom nestled high above the clouds, there lived a mighty dragon named Thunder. His wings were so vast they stretched wider than the open skies, and his scales shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. Every night, when the moon hung like a silver coin in the velvet sky, Thunder would unleash flames that lit up the darkness like flickering lightning. The people of the kingdom looked up at his fiery display with both wonder and fear in their hearts. For generations, stories had been told of a great treasure that Thunder was said to be guarding, a treasure that was cursed and brought nothing but misfortune to those who possessed it. Because of this, the villagers believed that the dragon must be evil. They were too afraid to approach him, too terrified to even try and understand him. They just knew they had to stay away from the mountain where he made his home. Decades went by, and as the years turned into centuries, the treasure became a myth, a legend whispered around hearths and woven into tapestries. And yet, despite the tales of the curse, some adventurers still dared to dream of claiming the dragon's treasure. They would set out from the village with swords raised, determined to slay the beast and claim its hoard, but none ever returned. Either the bravest of them got lost on the mountain, or the most cunning of them met their end in the dragon's lair. One day, though, a young man named Adam stood at the edge of the village. Unlike the other adventurers, he wasn't armed with a sword or a bow. In his hands, he carried nothing but a worn leather journal and a quill. He was an adventurer, yes, but not of the common sort. Adam sought not gold or jewels or magical artifacts, but knowledge and understanding. He wanted to learn the secrets hidden in ancient ruins, the forgotten lore of faraway lands, and the stories of legendary creatures like the dragon Thunder. So it was that one day he set off up the mountain, his heart filled not with the desire for battle, but with the hope of learning. As he climbed higher and higher, the air grew thinner, the trees more sparse, and finally, he came upon a cave hidden amidst the rocks. A low rumble echoed from within, like distant thunder, and steam curled out from beneath the stone, hinting at the fiery breath of the dragon. But Adam, instead of feeling fear, felt excitement. Finally, he would get to meet the legendary Thunder. Taking a deep breath, he pushed aside the heavy stones marking the entrance and stepped inside. The cavern was huge, with stalactites hanging from the ceiling like jagged teeth. At the far end, coiled around a pile of treasure, was Thunder, his scales shimmering like 1,000 rainbows in the firelight. Adam's eyes widened in awe. There was no denying it. This dragon was truly magnificent, but Thunder looked up at the newcomer and let out a mighty roar that shook the very foundations of the mountain. Adam flinched, but quickly regained his composure. He had expected the dragon to be fierce, and he was ready for it. Now was the moment he had prepared for all his life. He took a step forward and raised his hands in a gesture of peace. "Mighty Thunder," he called out, his voice echoing in the cavern, "I am Adam, and I come bearing no ill will. I have heard tales of your wisdom and your power, and I wish only to learn from you." The dragon snorted, and a plume of smoke billowed from his nostrils. "Learn from me. What can a lowly human teach you? I seek knowledge." "Great Thunder," Adam replied, undaunted. "There are things I do not understand about the world, and I believe you may be able to help me." Thunder let out a harsh laugh that echoed through the cavern like rolling thunder. "So you think I have all the answers, little human? Very well. Ask your questions, and if I feel like it, I might just answer them." Adam bowed his head slightly. "Thank you. Oh, mighty dragon, my first question is, why do you live in solitude? Why do you keep yourself hidden from the world?" Thunder shifted restlessly, his tail thumping against the rocky floor. "I am too powerful for the world below," he rumbled. "If I were to show myself, mortals would cower in fear. They cannot comprehend the strength of a creature like me. But wouldn't it be better if they understood?" Adam asked gently. "Wouldn't it be better if they saw that you are not a monster to be feared, but a magnificent creature to be respected?" The dragon looked at the young man, surprised by his words. No one had ever spoken to him like this before. Usually, visitors to his lair came with weapons drawn, ready to attack. To be questioned by someone who was unafraid, even curious, was a novel experience for him. "What do you mean?" Thunder asked, his voice softer now, almost a whisper. "I mean," Adam replied, "that perhaps it is time for the world below to know that you are not a monster, but a magnificent creature like the stories say. Perhaps it is time for them to see that you are not a bringer of misfortune, but a guardian of this mountain." Thunder looked away, his eyes distant. "A guardian," he murmured. "That is what I once was. Long ago, before the curse, I used to soar through the skies protecting the people below. But then the curse came and everything changed. I became a monster in their eyes, a bringer of misfortune. They forgot who I truly was." Adam stepped closer, his voice filled with empathy. "Then let me help them remember, O Thunder. Let me go down the mountain and tell them the stories of the great dragon who was once their protector, of the magnificent creature you truly are." Thunder turned back to face the young man, his eyes filled with surprise. "Why would you do that? You barely know me." "How can you trust me?" Because Adam replied, smiling, "You remind me of the dragons I read about in my stories. You are wise and powerful and misunderstood. And just like the dragons in the stories, I believe you are good." Thunder stared at the young man for a long moment, his eyes searching Adam's face. Finally, he let out a soft sigh. "Very well, little human. You may go down the mountain and tell my story to the people below, but do not be surprised if they do not believe you. It has been many years since they have seen a dragon, and they have forgotten what we are like." "I won't be surprised, O Thunder," Adam replied with a smile. "And even if they don't believe me, I will keep trying until they do. For I believe that the greatest treasure is not gold or jewels, but understanding and friendship." With that, Adam took his leave of the dragon and began his journey down the mountain. When he reached the village, he gathered the people around him and began to tell them the story of Thunder, the magnificent dragon who was once their protector. At first, the villagers were skeptical. By the end of Adam's story, the villagers were convinced. From that day forward, the people of the village no longer feared Thunder, they respected him.